Dress it up and make it real for me.
Eskimo, the coolest DJ in the world.
Whatever that fucking means. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool with all these niggas till these niggas start acting. Shoot a nigga like a film in a movie, nigga, gon' let them have it. We ballin' like the March Madness. All these cops shoot a nigga tragic. I'm the one that living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks. I done want it for the bitch that might have made me fuck her even though she average. Dirty money in the cook, 45 by my good. When young nigga in the cook, take you out for some joints. Count this money, no rush. I'm on the one-way flushing. Loud pack smelling mustard. These fucking police can't touch me. These bogus police can't touch me. These fucking niggas can't touch me. Apply the pressure with the VVS. I drive the foreign like it was a Chevy. Drive the foreign like it was a Chevy. Lift it up and go and all set it. Fuck a cougar like she Halle Berry. Future hinges, dirty Sprite, legendary. Dirty soda in the styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool with all these niggas till these niggas start acting. Shoot a nigga like a film in a movie, nigga, gon' let them have it. We ballin' like the March Madness. All these cops shoot a nigga tragic.
Alright, so we back again with Texas A&M, baby, episode 3. Coached by Kevin Sumlin, who looks like Roger Mosley Jr. I discovered that a while ago, but yeah, he was a couple close ties to this school. I almost went to Texas A&M. It was in my final 3, but didn't take the trip when that RC Slocum. They've always had a ton of receivers, but their offense is cooking right now, man. Their OC is Jake Spavital. He's been there for 3 years, but so what Texas A&M does on the spice scene, heavy air raid influence. I think Kevin Sumlin, by nature, when he was an offensive coordinator at Texas A&M back in the day, is a spread guy, shotgun, but he uses trips gun as much as any team. The one game that I'm going to break down, he ran gun trips every single play. Every single play. When we start talking about them and Baylor, they actually have an identity, and it's simple. Heavy screen, run pass reads, and here's the trips formation that it's trip strong, so it's really like a quads look to that side, or they can motion the running back to the trip side. They run a lot of screens that way, but they literally ran trips every single play this game. So pretty easy to break down, but it's still very hard to stop. So the first thing that they did this game, we're going to look at the run pass option, which, like I showed y'all with Baylor and even a little bit with G-Tech, I mean, this stuff is hard to stop. Their number one run pass concept is out of this trip strong look. They're just going to, it's really similar to what Baylor runs, except it's more of like a stick concept to the trip side. But number 3 to the top side is always going to run that little short hitch, and the slot's going to do it as well to kind of read that walkout player that's over number 3 over the top, and then they're going to run zone. They don't run as much power as Baylor does, and they don't run as much well, obviously the big difference between them and Baylor is they're running 2x2. Baylor runs 2x2. Texas A&M is going to run primarily 3x1. What gives Baylor a big advantage is they may even be a little bit more dynamic at receiver than Baylor is, if that's possible, because they have big receivers. So when you start playing press man, they don't really try to run by you as much as Baylor, but they can win pretty easily. They have some speed. Their receivers, Ricky Seals-Jones, Speedy Noel is going to be a really good one. And who's the other one? Josh Reynolds, who's a big young receiver who they throw a lot to one-on-one. So I think they're going to put kind of their ace to that single receiver side out of trips. But as you can see here, it's the same run pass read where they're kind of running that stick and they're reading that walkout guy. So you see the walkout guy comes out to number 3 on the little hitch. So he's going to hand the ball off here. So you really have, and you got to kind of play them double high. They have some athletes out there. So the holes are big to run the ball, but like we've been saying, man, keep it simple It's still hard to stop when you start factoring in tempo and all the reads that they make. The defense really can't be right. And it's just tough because you figure back in the day you would hand the ball off. Now you're making a read on every single play. Gosh, I would hate to play defense. Shit. But here they run the same play. Actually, they could have thrown the hitch right here to number 3, but they hand the ball off, and they actually do have some impressive backs. Their young quarterback, Kyle Allen, is going to be really good. Here they run the same concept, except they throw slant to the backside, so I think they put a tag on it. We used to call them an X tag, but here they hand the ball off to one of their backs. They had some big backs last year. They had some really shifty backs like Trey Williams. But as you can see, they literally ran this concept probably 15 times this game and just stayed in the same formation for the most part. What I was saying about Kyle Allen, he was the #1 quarterback in the country coming out of high school. And as I think he was a true freshman. Here they finally throw the hitch up top on that pass read. But he's highly touted. He came in towards the end of last season. He's going to be really good. He's got a good arm and makes good reads. So here's another thing that they do a lot of, not nearly as much as the run pass option. Anytime they go 2-by-2, you got to be on alert for this motion, this halfback whatever they call the motion, jet motion, fly motion, whatever it is. And they're going to throw a screen. But on some of these plays, they're reading the screen, not on this one in particular. On this one in particular, it's just a straight screen. So they're going to get him out in the flat and start blocking ahead of him. That's really tough to stop because he's getting so much width. You almost have to, with a middle backer or a safety, just widen all the way out for that. But you'll see in a couple plays, they start reading it. So you really can't be right. But I think this time they just threw it straight, as called, as designed, a straight screen, fresh out the box. Let's see on the next one if they read this one. So on the next one, this is out of trips. See, they can run it out of trips as well, and they do read it. So up top, they throw an X tag. They put X on the slant. And, so if they're in trips, weak, they're going to motion them to strong. But once again, once you see 2-by-2, they're actually faking that kind of sweep motion here. Wasn't really a screen. I couldn't tell on that play if they were reading screen or handoff, but I think that they might have because the receivers were blocking. But this is a straight screen with another X tag up top. So you got one receiver up top running a slant or whatever they tag him with, and you got the screen at the bottom. The quarterback has the option to throw it to either one. This one here, looks like, was that just a design run? I think it was. I think that was just a design run. Here's 2-by-2. So once again in 2-by-2, you got to worry about the motion. This is a misdirection. It looks like they had the option here to throw the screen or hand the ball off. Actually, it could have been the swing. That play is really tough to stop. I'm not sure what they were doing on that last play. But here's one thing that they do a lot of, what every spread team does a lot of. When they're in trips, I mean, the #1 thing that they're going to want to do is have that walkout player, who I think is Frost, number 17 right here, walk out far enough, and if he doesn't, they're going to throw the bubble. And as you can see right here, the backer's flat-footed, so they're going to fake the handoff. They have the read to hand the ball off. The O-line's run blocking. But I guess he got enough width to where they could still run this sweep zone run that they're running right here. So that's people have been doing that for years. Shit, we did that when I was in school. Just the bubble zone option, just based on that walkout player. But they do it pretty well because they stay in gun trips the entire game. And if they're even in 2-by-2, as you can see, they fake it here. They had the option to do it there. Back in trips here. This time they're actually going to throw it. That walkout player, who is number 8, looks like, didn't get enough width at all. I'm sorry. And on this one, they're actually going to do it at a 2-by-2. One thing about this team, if they have a H-back, fullback, tight end in the backfield, it's going to be a run, or it's going to be a play-action boot. So here's another play right here where they run the bubble and go, which obviously everyone knew it was coming since they threw it 3 times. They just run Obviously, the bubble two fly up, and they've got kind of a double post, double slant concept behind it to where the defense can't be right. They throw it to the slot, and it's a touchdown. So, I mean, that's not too much different than what you would see. And as you start watching college teams more and more on what they're doing schematically, you're going to realize a lot of teams are doing the same thing, same things with different tempo, with different players, with different focus, different ways to run the ball. A lot of it is dependent upon what kind of quarterback you have. Like Texas A&M doesn't have a mobile quarterback. They're not going to really run too much read or speed option. They do here and there, but not as much as some teams. I tried to do TCU yesterday. That's going to take a while. They're probably one of the only top-rated offenses that's actually not simple. You can't really say that there's one thing that they hang their hat on. Um, which approach do you think is better? I mean, because Texas A&M running gun trips and running concepts that are unstoppable, even for against a good defense, make it easy for a freshman quarterback to come in and play, and it's easy to teach. But here's their best trips design pass play. It's a levels concept. You got number 3. He's going to come over the middle. He has kind of an option route to where he can just hook up wherever there's a hole or keep running. Number 2 is going to run a dig, and number 1 is going to run an under. So it's just a levels concept. Number 1 up top is going to have an option route, and they're usually going to want to throw him on that back shoulder fade to the big 6'5" receiver. But as you can see right here, they hit number 3 on kind of that option sit route to where I think he's reading man or zone over the middle. It's a touchdown. This is really hard to stop because I mean, you figure they've been running the run pass options all game, and now they come out with, and they don't run that many plays in the pass game. They don't have to. Everything is a read, but this one is a true design pass. But they wear this concept out, and it's really hard to stop, man. So just the base levels concept, pro style shit. Like I said, there are some pro style reads and concepts in a lot of these offenses. You just got to find them. Here's the same thing, except they're going to hit. Actually, he got sacked, but I think he tried to hit number 1. Here's the same levels concept here, except they go up top for that back shoulder fade to the big receiver. Against press man, you do not want to play him one-on-one. That dude is really good, Josh Reynolds. And then lastly, one of their few design runs here. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about Texas A&M's offense, Kevin Sumlin, and what they're doing. I think it's really effective. I think he's one of the top 5 coaches in America. Actually, this was not a design run. This was still a run pass option. I thought it was design. See, I don't even know what the fuck they're doing sometimes, but I'm going to try to come back next week with TCU if I can ever get a grasp on what they're doing offensively. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.